الحمد لله الذي هدانا للإيمان وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد يحيي ويميت وهو على كل شيء قدير وأشهد أن محمدا رسول الله بعث بالدين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله ولو كره المشركون. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in Surat Al-Baqarah, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وعسى أن تكرهوا شيئا وهو خير لكم وعسى أن تحبوا شيئا وهو شر لكم والله يعلم وأنتم لا تعلمون. The meaning of this part of the ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us there might be things you hate and it's good for you, and there might be other things that you like and it's bad for you. والله يعلم وأنتم لا تعلمون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows and you do not know. Subhanallah. So there are things that we might dislike or hate and it's good for us, and things we like and we want so much and it's bad for us. It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows and we do not know. Subhanallah. And today we'll talk about some of these examples. One of the examples is the Muslims when they went out to meet the caravan in Badr, and then they were faced with an army. They had one of two choices, a battle or the caravan. And being human, they would have preferred the caravan, the easy. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen something for them that they wouldn't have chosen, which is the battle. Something they dislike, something they didn't want. But after they were victorious in the battle, they realized there is nothing better, because it established Islam and gave them the respect as Muslims. Subhanallah. So here they disliked the battle and they would have wanted and liked to have the caravan, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, knowing better, He chose for them the battle that became a very important battle in the history of Muslims and in the history of Peninsula, because this was one of the greatest victory in the whole Arabian Peninsula. They tell us another story. A man, he had a lot of horses, and his favorite horse he would take care of, and this one day the favorite horse ran away. And people came to console him, to tell him, don't be sad about your favorite horse. His answer back to them, how do you know this was bad? We really don't know. SubhanAllah. عَسَى أَن تَكْرَهُوا شَيْئًا وَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ. A little while later, this horse comes back leading a herd of horses. SubhanAllah, bringing horses with him. So people came to congratulate him, telling him, congratulations, your horse came back and you brought a lot of other horses with him. So again his answer, how do you know this is good? SubhanAllah, we really don't know. A few days later or a few weeks later, his son tries to ride this horse and he falls down and breaks his leg. SubhanAllah. So again the people come to console him and say, SubhanAllah, this is bad. He says, how do you know it's bad? We really don't know it's bad. So after this, there is a battle, and they conscript all the young men, but this young man had a broken leg, so they cannot take him. So the people come to tell him, congratulations, your son didn't have to go to the battle. And again he says, how do you know this was good? Moral of the story, we really don't know what's good for us and what's bad. What's good for us is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us. Wallahu ya'lam wa antum la ta'lamun. Allah's choice is always the good choice. And I share with you a personal experience I had when I was young, going to the University of Manitoba, and I got a summer job, a good summer job, alhamdulillah, and I was so pleased. After 3 weeks on the job, they went on strike and I was laid off. And I said, Ya Allah, I was happy with this summer job to pay my tuition and then, but the job is gone. Subhanallah, وَعَسَى أَن تَكْرَهُوا شَيْئًا. You dislike something. So, being a student, I was in subsidized housing. A couple of weeks after this, they called me to renew my contract. And they said, "Are you working?" I said, "No, I was laid off." They said, "Fine, we'll charge you the minimum we charge." It was $80 at the time, monthly rent. And a few weeks later, I got my job back, subhanallah. I look back at this incident and say, if I have timed it myself to work 3 weeks to get some money to pay some of the money I owed out, and then get laid off, and then go back to work, I couldn't have timed it better myself. عَسَىٰ أَن تَكْرَهُ شَيْئًا وَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ. That you might dislike something, but it's good for you. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows, and something I've learned throughout life, whatever happens to us is always the best. It's always the best, and we should not question it. Even though we think it's bad, but it's always good for us. And as they tell us in words of wisdom, لَوْ عَلَمْتُمُ الْغَيْبَ لَاخْتَرْتُمُ الْوَاقِعَ. If you know the future, if you look in the future and know all the different passes that might happen to you, and given a choice, and you say, "I'd like this pass," that's the one that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have ordained to us. Given all the choices, we will look at the end, and we know that what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have chosen for us, it is the best for us. But we, as this ayah says, وَعَسَىٰ أَن تَكْرَهُ شَيْئًا وَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ وَعَسَىٰ أَن تُحِبُّوا شَيْئًا وَهُوَ شَرٌ لَكُمْ. We might like something, but it's bad for us. We really do not know. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows. Another example is Musa alayhi salam, when he went out to look for Al-Khidr, and then they stopped to have their lunch, and he asked his servant, where is our lunch? He said, "I forgot it." And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had made the fish come alive and go back in the water. So here, and the servant says, وَمَا أَنْسَنِيهُ إِلَّا الشَّيْطَانُ أَنْ أَذْكُرَهُ. It is the shaitan who made me forgot. But here Musa alayhi salam told him, this was the sign I was looking for. If we had kept going, we would not have found this good man we're looking for. So even though it's a bad thing that happened, that they lost their meal, but it was the sign for them to meet the Al-Khidr alayhi salam. So عسى أن تكرهوا شيئا وهو عسى أن تكرهوا شيئا وهو خير لكم. And this is where we go in Surat Al-Kahf. And Surat Al-Kahf, the 3 stories that we learn and we know and we read every week. The first one, فانطلق حتى إذا ركب في السفينة خرقها قال خرقتها لتغرق أهلها لقد جئت شيئا إمرا. When Musa alayhi salam and Al-Khidr alayhi salam go on a ship, and these people on the ship took them free because they are good people. What does Al-Khidr do? He starts digging a hole in the ship, subhanallah. And Musa looks at him and says, "You are digging a hole, you are going to drown these people." Subhanallah. You are drown these people, تغرق أهلها. So not only he told him that you are doing something bad, but you are going to drown the people. SubhanAllah. It looks bad. If we were the owners of the ship and this happened to us, we'll say, look at what happened. We took these 2 people free of charge to help them out, and look the harm they have done. So here they have disliked this. But what did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tell us? أَمَّا السَّفِينَةُ فَكَانَتْ لِمَسَاكِينَ يَعْمَلُونَ فِي الْبَحْرِ. This ship was masakeen. And miskeen, here the scholars say we have to differentiate between miskeen and faqir. Faqir is a poor person who has no source of income. As for miskeen, is somebody who has a source of income but doesn't cover his expenses. He can't survive on it. So here they own the ship and they make money, but they are masakeen because